Hello, I'm Glorious Liar, and in today's episode of my glitch explanation series, I want to talk about Crystal Caves. Caves is probably the smallest level by area, with a slight vertical component to it. On top of that, a giant kotia is constantly dropping stalactites from the ceiling, which is quite frustrating. This level is rife with unique puzzles and challenges, many of which can be exploited. Let's do exactly that. First up, I want to show off DK's Rotating Room. Rotating Room is a standalone cabin meant for DK that has a golden banana and a battle crown inside. The golden banana is typically acquired by completing a face matching puzzle on the floor that requires rotating the room left or right. There's a much faster way of getting the banana, however. Immediately upon entering the room, DK can turn around and do a moon kick, also called an edge kick here based on what we're kicking off of, and fly towards the wall. DK would normally fall off if you attempted to land straight on the beam on the wall, so right before jumping out of the moon kick, if we hold down on the control stick, DK will do a 180 and be properly tethered to it. From here we're just a backflip away from the banana. Next up I want to hop over to Diddy. Diddy's blueprint is in a bad spot. It normally requires Tiny to go through a mini monkey tunnel and tag warp 4 so that Diddy may use the warp later to get the splat. However, in the year 2020, we have multiple easy ways around that. First is Skew. By swimming out of bounds by entering first person in a specific range of angle values, we can access the edge of the water plane out of bounds. By walking into it with our gun out, we can swim with our gun. Entering first person while swimming with our gun out forces us out of it, which is convenient because it also carries the side effect of preserving the angle of rotation from the water. This is called Skew and it breaks down most hit detection, meaning we can straight up walk through the wall that previously blocked our access to Diddy's blueprint. Another means of getting this is quite unique. It's been used in no levels early routes of the past, for example, but typically Skew is preferred now. Over by Cranky, there is a ceiling that extends higher than the rest of the main areas of caves, which typically has a hard ceiling so Diddy can't fly out of the cave. However, by flying up into this special ceiling, we can stay at a height above the ceiling that most of the level shares, effectively putting us slightly out of bounds. We can fly basically anywhere so long as we don't stray too far from the level, including dropping down to the area that holds Diddy's splat, where we can collect the blueprint. Normally, Diddy would be required to fly through a star above the igloo in order to grant each Kong access to their own trial within it. However, using the swim through vertical walls glitch mentioned earlier, we can swim directly under the igloo and have access to every loading zone from behind. This works with every Kong, but it's very easy to get disoriented and jump into the wrong entrance. Once inside DK's challenge, we're faced with an ice maze. A noob strat that wasn't quite understood until somewhat recently involved reloading the room by dying, which is easy because the walls take an entire melon of health, and playing DK's instrument directly upon entering, which strangely stops the maze from spinning. I'll be honest, I don't have a clue why this happens. A faster method of getting through the maze is a simple moon kick, or edge kick, off the entrance's alcove, jumping and landing precisely in the middle to get the banana. Also within the igloo is Lanky's challenge. This one has a small exploit. Normally you need to kill a bunch of enemies that spawn, which both spawn a pad and open the exit. This is unnecessary if the goal is to go fast and it is routed at a good point for a pause exit from the level. You can take Lanky over to where the pad will spawn and simply backflip up such that you will grab the ledge. Baboon Balloon is completely unnecessary here. Another small skip here involved grabbing the golden banana while our player is technically over the ground far below where we're collecting it. In a few scenarios like this, the banana dance animation is cancelled, supposedly so that you don't fall too far while collecting it. Like I said, you can just pause exit from here. I showed this next skip off in a recent video, but it's still cool and pertains to the biggest time save in caves for 101%. Racing the beetle is quite long, but due to the vertical nature of the race, and starting at the top, getting out of bounds means we can just fall straight to the end. Conveniently, the golden banana is always stored at the top of the final room, waiting to be collected. If we clip out of bounds at the start, by running into the first door with a good speed and angle, we can get right out of bounds and fall to our destination. There are setups to get this every time once you're out of bounds, but it's easy with save states to wing it like I did. Next up, let's talk about Tiny Kong. In the area surrounding the 5-door igloo, there is another glass igloo that contains one of Tiny's bananas. Normally you would monkey port to here from the warp 4 area, but that is not convenient. If If we jump with high water and facing away from it, we can get on top of the igloo. There's a weak corner near the back that allows us to simply fall through and land inside where we can grab the golden banana. Pretty simple. On that note, Chunky also has a golden banana inside some glass in the area. His requires a series of puzzles across the map that we don't have time for in speedruns. By swimming to a specific part of the backside, Chunky can simply jump and aerial attack to phase his way through the top seam of the igloo. The glass is one way, so it's typically done last in 101%, so we can pause exit and not be trapped inside. Back to Tiny. In the 5-door cabin, Tiny has a room in which he must blow up a bunch of claptraps with oranges. Once all of them have been defeated, a golden banana spawns from the insta-death pits below. However, during the delay between the banana spawn and the killing of the final claptrap, we can hang onto the ledge in the trajectory of the banana. When it swings out from the pit, Tiny is forced off the ledge into the dance animation and falls into the pit, which both skips part of the animation and warps you to the entrance, saving a bit of time. Last but not least, we have a skip in Chunky's cabin. This is one of my favorite skips because it sits right on the threshold of not so hard and too hard to get in a run. By making your way over to the back wall and backflipping onto the bookshelf, Chunky can bypass the moving lights and slamming the target pads. By skid jumping out of the skid, and doing an aerial attack, Chunky can get enough vertical height and horizontal speed to clear a bounding box of invisible barriers surrounding the bonus barrel, gaining access to the minigame early. I appreciate this one for the simplicity of it, despite being somewhat challenging to execute. That's all for this video. I am enjoying making these compilations of glitch exhibitions by level. You get closer to understanding what it's like to speedrun 101% by going over a bunch of these skips quickly in your head, all within the same level in a short span of time. Anyways, I intend to continue with these until I finish all of the levels. Until next time, thanks for watching.